Welcome to Withdrawal Investing Insights, folks. You've probably heard about the upcoming port strike on the East Coast, but what you might not know is just how bad it could really get. This strike isn't just a small issue. It's shaping up to be a huge problem for the entire country, potentially causing major shortages of critical goods, including food. In today's video, I'm going to share 8 essential grocery products that could become super expensive and hard to find starting in October. What's happening with the strike? So what's going on with this strike? It's set to hit 13 major ports from Maine to Texas, covering nearly half of all the ports in the entire U.S. These ports handle about 43% of the country's imports, bringing in goods valued at a staggering $3.7 billion every single day. That's over half of all the containers that come into the U.S., even more than the West Coast. The problem is, the International Longshoremen's Association, ILA, and the United States Maritime Alliance, USMX, are stuck in a disagreement. The workers want a 77% wage increase and an end to automation that could take away their jobs. On the other hand, the companies want to keep automation to cut costs. If they don't settle this argument before October 1st, we could see the first major strike at these ports in 50 years. Big companies like Walmart, automakers, and farmers are urging President Biden to get involved and help solve the problem, but so far, he hasn't stepped in. The real issue seems to be about control. Control over the supply chain, the economy, and even over the goods we buy every day. What does this mean for us? What does this strike mean for regular people like us? In short, it means shortages. We're not just talking about delays in getting holiday gifts on time. We're talking about essential goods like food, raw materials, and important supplies disappearing from the shelves. You might remember something similar happened during the West Coast port strike in 2008. It led to major job losses, automation, and skyrocketing prices. If this strike happens, it could also have a big impact on the trucking industry. With fewer goods coming into the ports, there will be less cargo for trucks to carry, meaning many truck drivers could lose their jobs too. Interestingly, oil and gas terminals and the military aren't affected by this strike, which makes it feel like this chaos could be part of a bigger plan. But for now, let's focus on how this strike could hit your wallet. Food prices are about to shoot up, especially for things like poultry, hay, cotton, and red meat. When exports stop, farmers lose money because they can't sell their goods, and that drives up prices for all of us. Let's break down the 8 essential items you should stock up on now, before the strike makes them either too expensive or impossible to find. Essential items to stock up on. Number 1. Canned goods. Canned goods could become a luxury item. Why? Well, the metal used to make cans, called tin plate steel, is mostly imported, and these imports come through the East Coast ports. If the strike stops those shipments, we won't have enough materials to make the cans, which means fewer canned goods on the shelves. Prices could jump from around $1.50 to as much as $10 per can. And that's if you can find any at all. During a food shortage, canned goods are really valuable because they last a long time, are easy to store, and are ready to eat right away. Number 2. Flour and grains. Flour and grains are the foundation of many foods we eat every day, like bread, pasta, and cereal. If the strike happens, flour prices could skyrocket from around $4 for a small bag to as much as $20, $30, or even $50. This is because a large portion of the wheat and other grains we use in the U.S. comes through these East Coast ports. And it's not just about flour. Grains are used to feed livestock, so shortages in grain will also affect meat and poultry prices. Number 3. Fresh fruits. If you enjoy fresh fruits like apples, bananas, oranges, or berries, prepare to pay a lot more. The East Coast ports handle 65% of the country's fresh produce imports. If these ports stop working, the price of fruits could jump from around $2 a pound to $10 or even $15 a pound. That means a single apple could cost you $5, and a small basket of berries might go for $25 or more. And don't think this will be just a short-term issue. Fruit production cycles take time to adjust, so the effects could last for months or even years. Number 4. Chocolate. If you love chocolate, brace yourself, because it could get super expensive. Chocolate prices could go from $2 for a candy bar to $12 or even $20. This is because the cocoa beans used to make chocolate mostly come from West Africa, and they are shipped through East Coast ports. If the shipments stop, there won't be enough cocoa beans to keep making chocolate. So, not only will prices go up, but the chocolate you do find might be of lower quality, with more fillers and less actual cocoa. Number 5. Coffee. Your morning cup of coffee might become a luxury item. Right now, you might pay around $12 for a pound of coffee, but after the strike, that could jump to $50 or even $75 per pound. The US is the biggest coffee market in the world, and many of the coffee beans we use come through the East Coast ports. If the strike happens, coffee could quickly become hard to find, and prices at coffee shops could soar to $10 or $15 for a single cup. Even worse, coffee suppliers may start using lower quality beans or cheaper blends to keep up with demand, meaning your coffee might not taste the same. Small coffee shops and local roasters will struggle the most as they can't compete with big chains for limited supplies. Additionally, with delays in shipping, coffee beans might spoil before they even reach the shelves, further reducing availability. As the demand stays high, you could see coffee options shrink drastically, with only a few premium brands left, at sky-high prices. If you love your daily caffeine fix, it's a good idea to stock up now before the situation gets out of control. Number 6. Cooking oil. Cooking oil, like olive oil, vegetable oil, and sunflower oil, is about to get much more expensive. Prices could rise from $7 a bottle to $30 or even $50. Cooking oil is used in many everyday foods, so any shortage will have a huge impact on the food industry. The East Coast ports bring in a large portion of the oils we use in cooking, and if those imports stop, expect prices to go through the roof. Not only will this affect home kitchens, but restaurants and food manufacturers will feel the pinch too, leading to higher prices on meals and packaged goods. Number 7. Poultry and meat. If you thought meat prices were high before, get ready for them to skyrocket. Right now, you might pay $6 for a pack of chicken, but after the strike, prices could soar to $30 or even $50. And it's not just chicken. Beef and pork will also become much more expensive. Farmers rely on grains for animal feed, and if the grain imports stop, they won't have enough feed for their animals. Number 8. Alcohol and beverages. Finally, get ready to pay a lot more for alcohol and even non-alcoholic drinks like sparkling water. A bottle of wine that costs $12 today could jump to $50 or even $100. Many of the ingredients used to make alcohol are imported through East Coast ports. This won't just affect imported drinks. Even domestic beers rely on imported ingredients like barley and hops, which could lead to empty shelves in the beer aisle. What should you do? So, what can you do to prepare for this? The best thing to do right now is to stock up on these essential items before prices shoot up, or they become impossible to find. Canned goods, flour, fresh fruits, coffee, and cooking oil are all going to be affected, so grab what you can now. Don't wait until the strike hits to start preparing, because by then it might be too late. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe. If this strike happens, prices will rise, shelves will go empty, and the products you once took for granted will become rare luxuries. What you do right now can make all the difference.